Hello and welcome to Man vs Film. This is a very special Blu-ray pickup video because this is the first of my 4 Vinegar Syndrome boxes that I've received this year. I engaged in a little experiment, a very expensive one at that, and I decided in November time to really jump on the Vinegar Syndrome bandwagon. Having never had a product from them before, I bought into their subscription. So every movie they release this year, I'm going to get from the horror and exploitation range. I've heard great things about their movies. They look like the kind of things that are up my alley, a little bit different to some of the things we've been getting here in the UK, and I just took the leap, jumped straight in with both feet. And I have my box here, which I'm going to talk you through some of the things I got, and it's just, if I go, there it is. As you'll see, it's already opened because this isn't the first time I've recorded this video. So we're going to dive into these movies. I'll talk you through what little I know about some of them, my thoughts, and basically about the subscription. So every 3 months I'm going to get a package of movies from them. Every 3 months I'll bring you a video, talk you through what I got, and at the end of it I'm going to explain what I got for the year, the value if I bought it separately, how it compares against the money I paid, the postage, everything, and whether I feel it's a good thing to get. But ultimately it's going to be down to the movies and whether you like the movies or not. I like movies, particularly from the 80s, that I saw in the video shop, all those lovely colours and covers and gory items that were on show there were things that I really loved the look of. Some of them I never got round to, and it seems as though Vinegar Syndrome is the company that is releasing these movies. So let's talk about what I picked up and what I know about those movies, if anything at all. So inside this package, which is really well taken care of, is 3 packages like this that are all individually wrapped, that have the movies all taken over. Now, this isn't all subscription movies. A couple of these ones I added to my subscription because I was curious about them, but we'll talk about them at a later date. One of the sub-ranges that they do is the VSA, the Vinegar Syndrome Archive, and it's a kind of nod back to action movies of the 80s, and it comes in these kind of snazzy cases. This one is Hellriders. It's the recent release. As a subscriber, I got money off it, so it was even cheaper than regularly as it was going to be, so it was a no-brainer. They are numbered, hand numbered up here, edition 659 of 3000, and it's a bottom loading disc, as if it was like the old videotapes that you used to get, where the covers would just slide over. So we've got it. This case is ridiculously thick. This is basically Hellriders are the worst of the worst when it comes to bikers, and they go into a small town chasing after a woman they've been harassing, and it has Adam West. That's right, folks, Batman is on here, and that's enough for me to be really kind of curious about this one. That's all I really know. Couldn't find a trailer or anything about this, which could be a bad sign, I don't know, but we'll give it a shot. Next up is Zombie Island Massacre. I loved the trailer for this. It's done as if it's an advert for a holiday package, but with all this cheap zombie action, and the reviews I've heard of this is one of the most exemplary transfers they've seen in a while, because every other transfer of this has been horribly degraded. It looks kind of low budget, kind of tongue-in-cheek and fun, and right up my street. So have a fun-filled vacation. Here's hoping. Next up is Pledge Night, and who doesn't love a movie that has a swear on the cover of it? I like college movies. I like high gore movies of the 80s. This kind of strikes both chords, as a pledge night at a frat goes horribly wrong. People start to die, there seems to be mutations and death, and this looks just really kind of fun. These slipcases that are on these movies are ridiculously stunning. It's all like gloss, embossed, matte, weird kind of things, and they are beautiful. The covers inside, it's the small clear cases for American, and most of these are either 2K or 4K restorations of movies that you would never expect to have that kind of treatment. This is going to be one of the ones I'm checking out really soon because I'm really interested in this one. Okay, one of the movies I know nothing about at all, Deadline. This is part of the subscription package. Like I said, I know nothing. It's got this really cool effect on the cover where it's like glasses, which are glossy, everything else matte. The title's embossed and glossy as well, and it just kind of wraps all the way around, which is really cool. I don't want to read the blurb at the back. I would rather have checked out a trailer. It's a 2K restoration. It's something that was coming with the subscription, so I was getting it anyway, and we'll see what it turns out to be. Another one that I know very little about is Hollywood Horror House. I know this comes under another name, I just can't remember off the top of my head what it is. A new high in terror and shock. I think this is a 60s movie. 73, sorry, 90 minutes. Savage Intruder, that was the title that this was, and this is scanned and restored in 4K from the 35mm camera negative. It's ridiculous. Again, there's just the back of it. I'm loving these. I'm not really too sure what this one's about. I know I have seen the trailer, but it didn't stick in my head. Again, this is another subscriber one, so I was going to get it. One that I'm really kind of curious about is Extra 3, Watch the Skies. This is another stunning cover. It's all embossed for the alien's head. At the back it says Watch the Skies. This is part 3 of the Extra movies, but I don't think it's got anything to do with the main one. Scanned and restored in 2K, host of extras. Basically, an alien landed at a certain time. It was on an island. It killed everybody there. A group of modern day soldiers go there and find themselves in battle again with the alien. Looks really kind of interesting, to be fair. Kind of cheap. But I like that kind of aesthetic sometimes, and I'm really kind of curious about this one. This is one that's been getting a lot of kind of negative reviews, but I'm going into it with open arms. I'm welcoming this movie into my collection. We'll see whether it ends up in eBay or not. Next up is Flesh Eating Mothers. They bite off more than they can chew, and this one, just on the cover, looks like a kind of kiddie horror. You know, one of those ones that you just unexpected, you don't know much about. Reminds me a little bit of Mum and Dad from last year, where for some reason mothers just turn and start to attack their kids, trying to eat them, like zombification is taking over the city, and they have to fight back and defeat these hungry mums. One that I was eager to get my hands on, Tammy and the T-Rex, starring Denise Richards and Paul Walker, and it has this really cool, you can see it, lenticular cover on it, and this one is a 4K disc. It's restored from a 4K restoration from a transfer, and I've already watched this one. I've got a review coming up. I thought it was incredibly fun. Everybody knows exactly what kind of movie they're in, and they play up to it. It is part comedy, part gore-filled, ridiculous dinosaur romance movie. It's not the kind of thing you see often. I thought it was incredibly fun. Like I said, both actors are great, particularly this guy here, the mad scientist at the heart of it all, who I'll talk about more in my review. One that I just threw on as an extra because it was remarkably cheap during the sale, and it is the 5 films, 5 years. And this is something that they throw out every year. I believe it's just got 5 movies on it, a couple of discs, and hit and a miss. I don't mind. For the price that I paid of it, it's a couple of bucks a movie. I'm fine with that. The movies are Cry Wilderness, Vampire Hookers, Evil Come, Evil Go, Teenage Seductress, and The Cutthroats, which, you know, gives you small blurbs in the back of them. I know nothing about these. It's very hard to find much information about them, but I will throw them on and check them out. Like I said, a couple of bucks a movie, easy enough. A movie that just came out, which I already have over here, is Olivia, otherwise known as Prosy, or the UK version, which was released by 88 Films. I have that. This is the fully uncut version of that movie. This one is a 4K transfer again, completely uncut, like I said. Super 8mm behind the scenes footage shot, which looks pretty cool. And subtitles as well, which for some reason I like to throw these movies on with the subtitles. I don't know why. Cover looks pretty good. This is one I've been wanting to get to for a long while. Up next, Death by Temptation, directed by James Bond III, starring a host of familiar faces in this one. This was an early 90s, I believe, late 80s, 1990 movie that has an incredible cast in it, including Samuel L. Jackson. It looks like a kind of supernatural Exorcist rip-off, done within the kind of black community, almost like a later day blaxploitation kind of movie. I'm quite curious about this one. I've heard some really good reviews, and that's why I got this. Last, definitely not least, is Spookies, and there was 2 slipcases for this. This is the one that I've got. I quite like it. Spookies is a notorious movie. This was one that I saw in the video shop and never quite rented, and I've never heard it mentioned since then. In fact, I'd almost forgot about it until I seen it on Vinegar Syndrome's website, and I eagerly snapped it up, and I was pleasantly surprised to discover the extras on this are bountiful. You get 2 feature-length documentaries on it. You get Twisted Souls, which was the original working title for the movie, The Unmaking of Spookies, which talks about this troubled production. I'm really curious about that one, and I'm even more curious about Vipco, the tale of that early 80s label that released all the kind of sleaze that became the video nasties. Now, I've already watched Spookies because I was really wanting to check it out. This one again was a stunning 4K transfer. Is it there? 1 disc houses the main feature, the other disc houses the 2 documentaries. They don't just cram it all onto the 1 disc as well, which I really appreciate. I thought this was a wonderful movie that fails because of a couple of reasons. It feels very akin to Night of the Demons, but doesn't quite capture that magic. It has wonderful special effects, really good practical makeup. I loved it, but the story doesn't quite match it. It feels mismatched with this story of the people in the house that are being picked off one by one to this sorcerer that we keep cutting to that seems rather detracting. I'm interested to go into the documentary to see what was added and taken away and what was changed. It's a movie that's more of a curious oddity than anything, but we'll get to that when I talk about my full review of this one, which will be coming at some point soon.